everybody, it's the Modern Day Nana. Okay, listen, I've just been playing around with some moths, some mossy things. We did those bunnies. What else did we do? Anyway, I've been piddling around, had a little time today, and I had this like purse, that moss purse that I got at Hobby Lobby on clearance. So this one is lined with a thick plastic, so you could just set fresh flowers down in there in water technically. But I thought, okay, this is super cute, and I definitely have things to put in this one. But I thought, why don't we try to make our own? I've got moss, and I've got I just kind of finished up the one pack of moss I had. I got this at, I got this at Walmart, but I'm sure you can get it online, craft places. It's a sheet, Flora mat it's called. So I thought we could make this easy and just use this mat. And then as far as handles go, I have this wire, you know, just jute covered wire. I think I got it at the Dollar Tree, but you can get it everywhere. It needs to be something that's going to stand up, you know, that's going to have some stiffness to it so it can stand up. You could make it a lot of different ways. You wouldn't have to have this. You could take, you could just take and do really anything that would have some stiffness to it, even like paper or cardboard. You could just make some little handles out of cardboard and cover them with moss. So it's a different size, and I'm just playing, but I thought, why don't we go ahead and give it a try. So here's this one. It was $10 on clearance. I don't know how much it would be otherwise. Yeah, they've got it filled with fresh flowers, which we could do. And if we didn't want to cover it with plastic or on the inside, we could just stick a little jar down in here. This one's pretty skinny. I just took a piece of cardboard I had and just basically decided how big I wanted the bottom. This one's going to be smaller than that one, but so I just decided how big I wanted the bottom to be, and I did get my measuring out and measured it. Across all the way, it's 10, and so this little part here is about 2. Okay, so it gives us what? Let me see, 8. So 4. Yeah, about 4 and 4 on either side. So I just took, and you could use your little can't think of the name of it. Don't cut it all the way through though. I think I just took a pencil and ran it down through and kind of perforated it, because see, I don't want it run down through on both sides. I want to keep this side solid, but I wanted to perforate this a little bit so we could fold it. Okay, so then I just took, so this one is 10 by 10. Okay, so those are the dimensions there. So then I just took a couple inches on either side, and I did the same thing, and I made flaps. Now here where the bottom's going to be, we need to just take our scissors and cut just up to where we folded. Okay, so just up to where we folded here, just 2 inches in. And all I was thinking we could do is fold our sides in and glue them. beginning to our purse. Now this one's not fancy. We could get fancy if we wanted, but I thought, let's just make just kind of a basic one. I think I'm just going to go ahead and glue these flaps down because they aren't going to need to be up because we're going to fold these two over each other. Here, let me show you. And we could line this. Now would be the time to do that. If you wanted to line it with something, you can get like a thick plastic. If you wanted to just put water and fresh flowers in. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to either, we'd have to get a pretty small jar, but I have some like those little jelly jars, or something pretty narrow like that, or just make it big enough to fit a jar in it. Okay? But I'm not really planning on putting fresh flowers in here, so okay, let's just let that glue that down nicely. I got it a little cattywampus here on the tops, but I don't think that's really going to matter when we get, and we could trim it off too. Okay, so basically we're just making our own little box, which actually kind of looks, that would be a cool cool start to a book, wouldn't it? I did take and do some moss. I did cover some books with moss. I gotta get geared up. I went over, I think I talked to you about it in the last video. I went over and had dinner with my son and his fiance, and we talked wedding stuff. I just think she's getting a little antsy. You know, you think, well, 6 months out seems like a long time, but as I said before, not when you're making things and you're busy and, you know, you work full time and all that jazz. So anyway, okay. So we got our little box. I think I'm going to move this for right now, but I love that. I love having that. Okay, I just want to show you guys. This is super duper duper easy to use. Really nice. You just pull it out and then save your bag and you can stick it back in. Just cut off what you want. And see, it's just really nice. We did some Christmas stuff with it. If you guys have been with me and saw us at Christmas, I don't know if we've done anything besides that. It's got this backing on it, so I think I'll do it this way. Okay, so we just want to make sure we have enough for the sides. Okay. And then we want to make sure we have enough to go all the way around it. And enough to tuck some down in the inside. Okay, so you don't see the box. So let's give ourselves a little bit extra here, and then on this side we'll just go ahead and make a mark. Let me roll it back down so we're sure, and then let's just give ourselves this side too. And I always like to do a little more because you know how that goes. Whoops. Now this is really nice because it's got the lines. So if you get a start of it, see where I got a start of it here? It's kind of like burlap in that regard. You can just stay in the line and you'll get a nice measurement. Pull our paper off a little bit. Okay. So yeah, I feel like, you know, we can just take a little piece of cardboard and we can make our own purse, if that's what we want. What I was originally thinking, and I can still do, is, well, make this like a little memory thing, because it's a purse. Okay, now, which was which? We don't want to get it. Okay, so that's the length of it, and this is the width of it. Okay, so let's see here. Where do we want to start? We want to just start and then do the sides. We just want to start at the top and do the sides. I'm just doing this with you, you guys. Why don't we just do that? So I'm just going to kind of, now we can use our little lazy Susan. Okay, so I'm just going to, I feel like we got way too much here, because all we really need is enough to wrap around it just a little, right? So that's really all we need right there. And then, well, I mean, technically we didn't cut too much off of it. We're going to have to do a little. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and put a little hot glue on the inside. And I'm going to take and I'm going to snip where this is going to fold in so it's not real, get real gompy. Yes, that is a technical term. I don't know if that's a word our family made up or that's a word people use, and I don't know. You know what, I think I'll just go ahead and let's go ahead and do the same to the other side, and then we can work from there. Just tighten that up a little bit, you know, just give this a little pull and make sure this is nice and taut. Okay. Alrighty. Good. Good. Okay. So, we've got that and that. Now we can just go in, and I think what I will do, we could make just like a fold. You know what I mean? We could just fold it. But, I don't know. Or we could do like the fold like this, you know, like you would wrap a present. That's kind of cute. Let's try that. I'm just going to fold this side up. Fold the bottom. Ah! Some of my finger holes are lost their glove part. Let's do that and see what we think. We could bring it together and not fold it all the way so it's just there in the middle. Let's see. We're just playing. But I thought this was a really cute idea. When I saw that, I'm like, ooh, we can use that. Since we're doing all things moss for the wedding. But I thought this would make a really nice, just like a little Easter basket too. What I was thinking was, you could do, if you wanted to do like a memory thing, we're going to take a chair, and do like a memory chair for our loved ones that aren't with us anymore at the wedding. And we're going to cover it in moss. Have you seen those? We'll do that together, but I'm just waiting until the weather gets nice. And what would be fun that I've seen in a couple of photos, like gardening type photos, is they actually put live plants in, like, where you sit, you know, where you sit in the chair. They put live plants, and if I did that this spring, they would be really well established by fall. The wedding's September 27th. So, I believe 27th. Oh, you know what? Once you get all done with it, you can't even really tell that where it's at. Not much anyway. So let's do that to this side. I'm just taking the bottom and folding it in. Ah! But that would be nice. And then she had talked about wanting to maybe incorporate some of the photos actually into the chair. But you could just set them there too. You know what I mean? You could sit them on the chair. I know there are a few that would be nice to incorporate. I didn't really talk to you guys a lot about it. If I talked to you at all about it, actually. But I just lost my mom. And it was kind of a surprise, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? She hadn't been doing well for a while, but I didn't think it was anything, I mean, it wasn't anything immediate. It all happened really so quick. And I'm just glad that, because we had gone, I don't know if you've watched some of my other videos, she was in a really nice place in the neighboring town, 10 minutes away. So I go over and see her all the time. Usually when I worked, you know, I'd just go ahead and get ready for work and then stop by and see her for a while. She didn't even care if you did a super long visit with her. You know, just check in, hey, how you doing? Stay 45 minutes. That was usually about what I did. And then, you know, head on to work. She was happy. I was happy. Anyway, but we went on that trip to, the whole family, we went on that trip to Disney World. That was February 15th, 16th maybe. It was the 15th, day after Valentine's Day. And we were gone a week, and when we got back, I ran over and saw her that evening. And then I was like, what's going on? She just seemed really different. She wasn't her talkative self. She wasn't really eating. She'd definitely taken a turn. And so that was Saturday. I went back on Sunday. It was more pronounced. I think I called my brother and sister Sunday after, and I was like, you guys, mom's not doing well. I mean, I think you better come home. And I've got the sisters in D.C. and the brother is in Florida. So thankfully they hopped on a plane. Let me see. I think they got a flight out. That was maybe Sunday. They got a flight out Tuesday. My sister got stuck in Chicago. That's a whole other story. Anyway, they got there at like 2 and 4 on Tuesday, and literally Mom passed away at 6 o'clock on Tuesday. Absolutely crazy. I just don't even know. I'm glad. And she was so ready, guys. And I don't know if you've not experienced that, you know, that might sound weird to you. She was so ready. She was just done. She was just done with it. Anyway, so things worked out. We were able to have the funeral and everything while they were here. So, but anyway, yeah, it's been pretty rough. A lot to do, and you guys know how that is when you lose a loved one, and then you're thrown right into dealing with all of that. It's just really crazy, the finances and their belongings and anyway. So yeah, and that's only been, what is this? First week in April, so it's been a month. It has been a month too, you know what I mean? Sometimes you're like, it has been a month. Well, it certainly has. Anyway, so I was thinking it would be nice, this would be cute, if you wanted to do like a little memorial for someone that's passed. You could put like a little picture on here. But anyway, we'll see what we come up with. So look at this, you guys. Voila! Okay, now we could do a lot of different things. Like I said, I have this, but you could twist up, just if you have like a paper bag or something, you could twist it up. Depending on the size you wanted your handles. And the nice thing about this is, where's our moss? Where'd you go? There you are. The nice thing about this stuff is, and you know what? We can even use these little pieces. Let's use these little pieces that we cut off because we don't want to waste any of this stuff. And I think what we can do is just wrap this around here, and then we can glue it to the inside of the purse. I'm just going to put a piece of, to kind of lay it down on, just put a little thing of glue to place it on. And that way we don't waste our could probably do less than this. Let me just put it right here on the side. Okay? And we will just make our own moss purse. Okay. Alrighty. Here we go. And this is basically what we did when we made those Christmas things. We we put them on those little skinny curtain tension rods, and we made things to hang in the windows for Christmas time. You can do it for any time. Alright, well, maybe I can, if this one isn't glued down all the way. Let's just pull it up. Waste not, want not, guys. Okay? There. Yeah. So we can just start from there, and we'll just use these. Let me cut this so we don't get our sizes messed up. And then just take it and roll it. And then we'll put a dab of glue. When we get it rolled up. Okay? And I think this will definitely give us the desired look we're going for. What I'm going for. And you wouldn't have to do moss. I just wanted it to tie in with the, with the bag part of it. You could do whatever you wanted. You could use whatever you wanted. I'm just going to go ahead and use this up. Okay, I'm just going to put a little dab of glue. Just go ahead and do these one at a time. Now, if you just had a strip, it'd probably be a little bit easier, but like I said, waste not, want not. Use our stuff up. You don't want little scraps sitting around, but you also don't want to waste it. So, and then I found a couple of little things, and there again, you get some new gloves, guys. I have those ones I was fooling in the moss with last video. And this is nice too because it does kind of really blend once you get it smashed down to where you want it. Kind of smash it down. Then it'll blend in pretty good. I need to give my brother a call. I was just thinking about him. I haven't talked to him since he went home from the funeral. I'm just glad they were able to get here. So, alright. There. Okay. And we can just glue this to the inside. You can make sure your seam, of course your seams aren't all going to probably line up perfectly, but you can make sure your seam is down. See what I'm saying? Oh, that's so cute, you guys. It's okay if it's a little bit cattywampus. We can, fix it. Let's go ahead and put a dab of glue in here and go ahead and put it in. You know what? This would be really cute too if you wanted to just make a hanging and not do the other side. If you just wanted to make a little moss hanging box, and then this could just be your hanger. Let's let it dry a little bit more. That would be really cute too. And if you feel like, oh, I don't like that showing or whatever, you could just take a little bit of your moss, because you end up having moss pieces, and just kind of dab it if there's some place that you feel like needs a little help. Put just a little more right down in here where we know where it's at. Okay? Let's hold that on there. And that moss is a little bit loose, right? So, anyway, so this is cute. Let's go ahead and let me get the other one done. I cut this the same size. So, got this to work with, and oh, you know what? Instead of cutting more, I've got scraps. I covered a few books, just playing with them. We got a whole set of encyclopedias, old, well, not old, but, well, I mean, they're not new. They probably don't even make encyclopedias anymore, do they? I don't know, but anyway, yeah, we've got some stuff like that we're just going to cover the outsides in moss. Let's just go ahead and use this. Make it a little easier on ourselves. Okay. So, then we can go ahead and decorate it however we like. Okay? Alright. It's been rainy and chilly and not my kind of weather, honestly. I came home from work yesterday morning. I get off at 5:30, so I get home about 6. And I was pretty much a slug the rest of the day. Well, I mean, I had to sleep. I always come home and sleep. I'm not one of those that gets up or doesn't go to sleep and then runs around and does. I just can't do it, guys. And I'm telling you, it's getting a little bit harder. It's getting a little bit harder to do nights. My shift is 5 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. And it's getting a little harder. I'll be 60 in September. Cannot even believe I'm saying that, but I will. And I mean, you know, I'm not popping back like I did when I was younger. It's just the way it goes, kiddos. It's just the way it goes. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I've got this nice straight line because of these threads on the back. So we'll have a nice, neat line. But like I said, if you didn't, you know, just use your scraps. That's a nice thing about the moss. It's obviously so forgiving because it's so messy, which, if y'all have watched much of my stuff, I love messy. I love it. I really do. I am not a precision type of crafter. I did actually, you know, just got the ruler out and measured a little bit to do that, to do our purse part. But that's about the length of my measuring in general. Okay. Aww. That was so easy, you guys. So if you want to do something, and like I said, moss is so forgiving. And, you know, you can really get in there and play with it and see if get our handles about the same. Yeah. Super duper cute. All right. So it was that easy. So yeah, you guys, if you wanted it bigger, you know, but this is a cute size to sit if you're doing a vignette. Make it bigger or smaller. You could make it little bitty. Or, you know, a lot bigger. Yeah. So that's cute. Let's set that aside and let that dry. So it didn't cost us, that one was on clearance for $10. I don't know what it was originally, that one I showed you first, but it didn't cost us near. That whole big thing of moss was, I think it was like $18. And all we had past that was a little bit of the jute wire, you know, jute covered wire. So we probably made this for, I mean, I say $2, and I think that's going overboard with it. Okay, so pretty darn cute. Now, where did the one go that oh, here it is. Okay, so it's a different, you know, it's a different size. And this one's lined with the plastic, which I don't need, and it's probably going to end up getting in my way, honestly. I don't, you know what? Yep. I'm just going to pull this out of here, you guys, because I'm just afraid you're going to see it when I go to decorate this one, because see, it's just a bag that they just, piece of plastic they stuck in there. But of course, we will save it. Let's cut off our tag. I don't know what it was normally. Okay. Oh, it's on wire. I see. It's just on a wire. It's not cardboard. Okay. Alrighty. Uh-oh, we got a little bit of our stuff coming loose here. But we can fix that back up. See a little bit of the wires. Okay, here's what I was thinking. With this, I was thinking that we could just make this up and put it on, you know, sit it on a shelf. Now, I had gotten these at Hobby Lobby. I have a couple of them. They're there on the end aisle. I stuck this purple in here. But they're usually on the end aisles. You can get all kinds of different little bouquets. Got a half off. You know, I don't know. It might have been $5 half off. And you could kind of stick in what you would want. Oh, before I do that, let me show you what I did here. Now, my original thought was I was going to put like a picture frame or something on this and stick a, let me see if I can find a picture frame. Here's one that's just Sisters Are Different Flowers from the Same Garden. That's actually cute. Don't know where I got it at. So that's just one of those little square signs if you didn't want to mess with doing anything yourself. Or you could do, this is just an old oval, old oval size that I have. And that seemed a little bit big. So what I ended up doing, we were thinking about, for place settings, they were thinking for the wedding, they were thinking about making getting little photo frames and putting sticks around them. So what I did here was I just took the size of a 4x6, you know, just like a standard photo you would take, and cut out a piece of cardboard, and then I just glued some sticks around it. And originally was thinking, you know, maybe I put Mom's picture in here, which I can later on, and then we can just stick this. I don't think I'll stick it really strongly to it, like just maybe tack it to the purse, and we can stick whatever we want to in it. I just went outside. It's been raining, so my sticks were probably a little bit wet, but I just went outside and got some sticks. Now, I showed in other videos, I got this whole bag of stuff for 99 cents at Goodwill. It's this weird foam looking stuff that looks like, it really looks like bark. So let's just do one together real quick, okay? So we've got that. Let's see. Oh, here. I went ahead with this one. I got smart. This one we're going to have to stick a picture into. With this one, for our little purse, I got smart and just covered my piece of cardboard with just a little piece of scrapbook paper. These come in really handy, but any scrapbook paper, you could use a page out of a book, just a piece of anything. You know, you could use a piece of paper that your stuff comes in the mail, you know, like the packing paper. I just happen to have this, so I thought this looked springy and matched the, there's a little green lines running through it, little mossy green lines. So what I did with that one was I took a piece to kind of give it a base. I just took a piece of this strange foamy stuff and just on the edge. Now I did take and antique the edges of this. I just took my distress ink and my paintbrush, but you can use whatever, and I just went around it to give it a little bit bit of distressing. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this down. I'm going to overhang it a little bit so it looks like the twig hanging over the side. Okay. Now if you didn't have this stuff, no problem. Just go out in the yard and forage for some twigs. Okay. I just thought, I've got this. Gotta make use of this stuff. You know, they say it's not hoarding if you use it. And so that's kind of my motto. When one of the kids is like, God, Mom. I'm like, what? I use this stuff. So see, you are a witness that I am using all this strange nonsense that I pick up. Like a bag of foam twigs for 99 cents. And honestly, if you didn't want to mess with twigs, this is like real twigs. This is really pretty legit. I don't know. You know, sure it came from some sort of floral situation. That's the thing about the floral stuff. Such beautiful things. And I've told you guys before, when you're out at the thrift store, look, you know, don't pass up looking at the florals and things. Sometimes they're kind of like, but if they've got potential, like if they could be washed real good or something, which I pretty much wash all that stuff. I just, you know, dunk it down in some hot soapy water, and then rinse it off. And yeah, you can get just really nice quality stuff. I literally went out in the yard and just grabbed some sticks. I've been trying to clean up the yard. So see? So let's just kind of see what we think here. If we don't want to break it off, we could take our wire cutters and do it. And then just kind of, you know, just kind of stick it in there with it. Doesn't have to be on top of it necessarily. I'm going to try to make mine about the use like the same size stick. Could have scooted that one to the edge a little bit better, but you know, that's fine. Now it's sticking to me instead of my gloves, instead of the perfect. Perfecto. Okay. And we might have to get in there and do a little more glue. And you don't want your glue to show though, you know what I mean? So don't be getting crazy with the hot glue, because you don't want, there, that makes a nice, I'm just using my wire cutters. If you don't like the looks of the rough edges, then just use those. I think I'm going to stick this behind here. Okay, just play with it. As I've told you guys, told you so many times. I don't know about you guys. None of this is serious. None of this is serious. We are stress relieving, playing. Some people have different things they like to do. I like to play with paper and sticks and fabric. To each his own, right? To each his own. Alright. I don't think that's too bad. Okay. So, let's let this be drying. I'll lay it over here on top of my book. Or, could be a book that didn't have handles. But our bag. And let's pull this one back over. Let me see, what did I do? Oh, okay, here's this. Well, first of all, let's decide what we wanted to do here. Now, I had pulled a few things out, and I think these were things that I got off of the Graphics Fairy site. Let me see if I can find them. Here was this one. And that's just some eggs that I tore out of something. Oh, here, this is one I was going to go with. Although I like that, and that's a look. If you wanted a more rustic. I think I'm going to go, this was just a piece of that paper, out of that little paper pack. And I think I'm just going to slide it in here. Okay. And then this, I'm pretty sure came from the Graphics Fairy. And I just cut it out. So, why don't we just do, we could just do a dab. Oh, I don't know. I think I want it to go down. I'll do a glue stick. I want it to go down on the sides so it doesn't look like it's flipping up on the edges. There. And there is a top and a bottom. It says really faintly Easter. I think it says Easter Blessings. Let me hold it up a second so I can see if I can get it semi in the middle of the page and semi straight. Nope. I cut my paper a little too small, but I think when it's said and done, I think we'll be okay. There. Okay. So let's take our purse, and I think I'll just tack it down. Now, if we decide to pull this up, then we can just stick some moss on here, right? Let me stand up. We could also trim these down if we need to. I feel like these two might be a little too long. They might. Uh-oh. Lost my stick. Like I said, these were a little damp too, so that might have a bearing on how well they're sticking. There. Alright, now, here's what I was thinking. I had, well, I've got this nest. Let's put our stuff in here and see what we want to do. Now, I just had a book. Well, you can't even see the cover now. It's just a maroon covered book. This was just you could use, this I think was a Graphics Fairy thing, but you could use, again, plain piece of paper, scrapbook paper, paper that you painted on or did something with, But I was thinking we would put a book in our purse. If you had a little hymnal or something, if you wanted to go that direction. Now, I like this. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, you know what? I have this whole big bag of hankies. So I was thinking, let's put a hanky in with it. So what I did with the hanky is I just got it. I just grabbed it in the middle. Okay. And then I opened the back book cover. See, I just taped it, so I'm not hurting this book. It's one in a little series of classics. And I'm just going to fold that in there. Okay. And then we can just put our little book in here. And then we can do this little bouquet. Now, if you didn't have a bouquet, just stick you some flowers in here. And if we feel like our book isn't sitting up high enough for us, which I'm not sure, let me see. Let me tilt these flowers down a little bit. We could just put some stuff in to make our book sit up a little higher. Okay, so I just put these flowers in, and I'm going to take and move one of the flowers so it's kind of around. See, so it's kind of around the purse handle. And then I think what we should do, because I feel like that book should stick out a little bit more. Oh yeah, that book should stick out. Again, whatever junk you got, you could just, I just dug in the trash. Here's that piece that we pulled off of the moss mat. Let's just pop it in down in here to make our book sit up a little higher. Oh my goodness. Kind of tilt it to the side. Mess with your little, mess with your little hanky. Do whatever. I feel like this purse, actually, maybe it's why it was on clearance. This purse, the one, not the one we made, the one I bought, is a little cattywampus, but that adds to the cuteness too. Now, and if we wanted to, we could put something a little heavy. You guys, I'm so bad about just putting stuff in that I just have laying around. Do we want to just put the whole bag of beads in? There's some beads that came out of some. I'm just going to stick them back here in the, hold on, I got to get the air out of the bag. And that's going to make our bag set flat. Our purse, I mean. Let's see. Well, I want to hide that. Yep, that helps. I feel like that helps. Now, do we want to add on the nest? If we add on the nest, we need to put a little something in the nest, but I don't think it needs to be eggs or anything because we have eggs already on there. I've probably got some little feathers somewhere, but I don't have them on me. Let me get a little bit of, I need just the tiniest little bit of moss. Here's this moss that we had. I'm going to stick a little bit of this moss in here with some glue. And I've just got this that popped off of something. Let's pop that in there. See if we can get it in there. Oh yeah, I like the green. It's just green, it's not anything. Okay, I'm just going to take and put a little glue in the corner. I'm going to layer down. I'm going to put a little glue in the corner. I want to be able to see. Our little egg design that we put on there. Okay. Voila! We'll have to hold that a second. How sweet is that? Okay. Let me hold this on here a minute. It's just kind of a lumpy because of the where it's located on those sticks, but I don't want to get it so far over that it's messing up our pretty in the middle that we put on. Okay? So, like I said, you don't have a moss covered purse? No problem. I think I like ours better anyway, to be quite honest, but, you know. So you can make your own. You can make your own whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to cover, and moss is really forgiving. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to lay it down, set it aside. But that is super adorable. That'd make a lovely little gift. May Day gift, Happy Spring gift, Easter gift, whatever. Just a nice touch of spring. Okay. Let's real quick, let's set this one aside. And let's real quick see what we can do with this little one we made. We have our sticks. Okay, now we have to decide. I laid something out to put on top of this, if we can find it in all this mess. There was a couple little bunnies on a teeter-totter. And the egg is the balance. Alright, so what I was thinking here, though, is, because this is just a little cutout, let me see here. Maybe we could do a little something. Let's do a little something to make this a little more. I had gotten this stuff at Amazon. It's just a big roll of this, like, twine. I'm going to pull these gloves off. And I think, because that looks a little stark on there, let's take a little tiny bit of glue. I mean teensy tiny. And let's line. There is a front and a back to this stuff. Oh, this is super cute. We can take it just up off. Oh, Bunny's face is obstructed there. But you could trim it down. You know how good these scissors are. Not too good. But I wouldn't really expect them to be. To cut everything. There. Just trim it down. And I don't know if we want to try to fold this. Why don't we just cut it? Just right on the edge. Try not to burn yourself. I think I am going to go to the Dollar Tree and look for little like 4x6 frames. See what they've got. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. We'll just stick her on there. And we can always, too, pop a little moss. Why don't we go ahead and do that? Just kind of tie it in. Let's just pop a little moss in some spots. Maybe kind of like in the corners. I've got all kinds just laying here on the table. That mat thing definitely sheds. You know that, but that's all right. We can use it. Just put it wherever you think it needs a little something. Okay. All right. Now, I guess it matters which side we put our. Because they're both the same. They're both the same. Okay. I think I'll give this one a better. That one other didn't really seem to want to stick. All right. This one's definitely much more on the square than that one. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is cute just by itself. Look at that. Hold on, here we are. That is adorable. It's a couple of bunnies. And we can pop this picture out of here or put something over it or, you know, pull it out or just pull this whole thing off and repair it with a little bit of moss if we need to. Okay. Alrighty. You know what? Let me grab a few flowers and a bit of ribbon. And we'll kind of pick out of here what we want, okay? This is very sturdy, you guys. Actually, much more sturdy than that wire one. Okay, so we got that. Now, I had this little book. Look how adorable. Scroungy little thing. Shorthand book. I actually, yes, took shorthand in high school. Never have used it. But, you know. So we've got this cute little shorthand book. We might have to do the same thing because it's kind of sticking up. Let's put some flowers down in here. But you could do other things. You know, you wouldn't have to use flowers. You could maybe stick a little nest. Let's see. We've got this ribbon, which I like, and it's wired. Where do we want our ribbon at? We want it over here. I'm just going to go ahead and tie a simple ribbon, a simple bow. I love this ribbon. I don't know where I got it. Might need to be a little bit longer. We don't want to waste it though. See, that's a nice thing about these because they keep their shape. The wired ribbons keep their shape. Oh, see? That's not long enough. I don't think that tail's long enough. So we just take it out and make it a little longer. Okay. Just tie a bow like you're tying your shoe. Super pretty color. We can mess with it. Let me get some of our other stuff done and mess with it. Let's go ahead and cut it off to get it out of our way. Okay. All right. So we've got a pretty bow on there, and honestly, that's nice by itself. Right? If we wanted to make this not have a color, I had gotten all these at a thrift store. The whole bunch was 25 cents. $3.99 is what it says on the thing. So we could just take a couple of these and pop them in here and call it. I'm not thrilled about these flowers. You know, you can maybe fluff them and... Oh, but that is pretty. Okay. See, sometimes even if you've got, you know, things that you're like, oh, those could be nicer, that's for sure. You can work with them, right? You can kind of work with them. So if we want to, we can stick our, what we do with our little book. Yep. Voila. Just a cute little book. That even there, that way you can see what it says. But if you wanted, you could do what we did in the last one and get all this moss. Put something under it. Now we didn't put a hanky or anything in that one, but we could put a, you know, it'd be cute. I don't have one right this second, but a bookmark would be cute, like a bookmark with a little tassel on it. If I get around to that, I'll do that. Okay, so alrighty. So that was a really cute project. So this is the one that we had bought the purse, and this is the one where we made the purse. Okay? And if you want your bow, I might make these a little shorter, or you can fold them. That's also the nice thing about you know, the wired ribbon. You can fold them where you want them. But those are super sweet. I'm really happy with this. Get your junk out, guys. And, you know, I'm here Fridays, so we'll do some crafting, okay? All right. It's the Modern Day Nana. You guys like and subscribe. I'm just over here playing. Love you guys. See you soon. Bye.